All right, let's jump right in. Most of us, when we think about heaven, probably have a picture in our heads of, well, eternal, peaceful rest. And that sounds nice, but what if that's only part of the story? Today, we're going to explore a really different vision of the afterlife, one that comes from a theological perspective that reimagines eternity as this active, creative, never-ending adventure. So let me just throw this out there. What if heaven wasn't the end credits rolling on your life? What if it was more like hitting New Game Plus? You know, in video games, that's when you get to start the adventure all over again. But this time, you keep all your skills, all your experience. You're ready for something even bigger. This idea is absolutely central to the framework we're digging into today. Okay, this slide really gets to the heart of it. On the one hand, you've got the common view. Heaven is static. It's restful. It's the final destination. The story's over. But the idea we're exploring, it flips that on its head. It imagines eternity as dynamic, super creative, and basically the start of an infinite adventure. It's a massive shift from a passive eternity to an active one, where the story is really just getting started. So, you might be wondering, where does an idea this big even come from? Well, according to this viewpoint, it all starts with a teaching that's probably pretty familiar: the importance of becoming like a child. And this isn't just some simple moral lesson. It's actually presented as the very foundation for this whole idea of an infinite adventure.
This key verse from Matthew is seen as more than just a call for innocence. That word, converted, is huge here. It's interpreted as a deliberate turning back, a conscious return to the humility, the openness, and that joyful trust that, in this view, we all had in a spiritual sense before we even came to earth.
And this next point is brilliant. See that phrase, "of such is the kingdom"? That's seen as the absolute key. It suggests the kingdom isn't just for people who are childlike. It suggests the kingdom is fundamentally made of those qualities. The very fabric of heaven, from this perspective, is woven from things like trust and joy and humility.
And let's be super clear here, this framework draws a really sharp line in the sand. We're talking about being childlike, not childish. We're zeroing in on these positive relational qualities: being humble, having a deep trust, a real capacity for joy, being teachable, and that natural, healthy dependence on family. These are the things that are said to define the eternal family.
Okay, so if we're meant to be childlike, what does that imply about our Creator? Well, this perspective suggests we find the answers by just looking up and out into the cosmos itself. The universe, in this view, is like a grand revelation of the divine personality. This verse from Romans is basically the decoder ring. The idea is that the invisible things about God, His character, His personality, are actually made visible. We can understand them by looking at the things that have been made. So the universe isn't just some giant, cold machine, it's a self-portrait. So, what does it show us?
Well, first, you see just overwhelming beauty. And this viewpoint points to everything, from the incredible swirling patterns in a distant galaxy to the tiny, intricate design of a single snowflake. This isn't just about function, right? This is about artistry. It suggests a creator who genuinely values elegance and aesthetics.
Next, there's joy. You know, think about animals playing just for the fun of it. There's no survival reason for a dolphin to leap out of the water like that. This is seen as a direct reflection of a creator who delights in joy and play, not some distant stoic engineer.
And finally, and I love this one, whimsy. The wild, vibrant colors of a nebula, the sheer mind-boggling variety of life. This is not the work of cold, hard necessity. It's seen as the work of a divine artist with a sense of wonder and a powerful imagination. A playful parent, not just a cosmic ruler.
So let's tie this all together. You've got the call to be childlike, and you have a universe that seems to reflect a joyful, creative, and playful personality. When you combine those two ideas, you get to the absolute core concept of our explainer today, the gamification of eternity. So what does that actually mean? It means eternity isn't a static finish line. It's a dynamic, ongoing process, an infinite interactive adventure, where we, as an eternal family, get to play, create, and discover together, forever. And this is where that gaming metaphor just comes roaring to life. Eternity is framed almost like a series of levels. Level 1, exploring galaxies as these vast cosmic playgrounds. Level 2, building new worlds with what this framework calls cosmic Lego sets of matter and light. Level 3, embarking on these incredible family quests together. And here's the absolute best part. There is no final boss. There's no game over screen.
there's only an endless series of New Game Plus modes, where you just keep going on the adventure with more capacity and more joy.
Okay, so let's pull back from these vast cosmic ideas for a second and bring it back home. What does all of this mean for something more personal, like the idea of family? Because this isn't just about cosmic fireworks, it's deeply, deeply relational.
I think this analogy, which comes from the material we're exploring, is just so powerful. It perfectly captures the feeling of this eternal adventure. Imagine every day begins with the thrill of discovery, like waking up on Christmas morning to unwrap new cosmic gifts. And every period of rest is like Christmas Eve, filled with that joyful, shared anticipation of the amazing things that tomorrow's going to bring. It's a state of perpetual wonder.
So, let's just recap the journey we've been on. We started with a simple call to be childlike, right? We looked out into the cosmos and found clues of a playful creator. And it all culminated in this grand vision of eternity, not as a final resting place, but as an endless, collaborative, creative family adventure. And this isn't just about some far-off future. It's a perspective that can give real meaning to our lives and our relationships right now.
And that brings us to our final thought. This theological framework presents a really compelling, dynamic vision, and it leaves us with a huge question to ponder. If eternity is an infinite, creative game that we play with our family, how does that change the way we approach our lives, our work, and our relationships today? What's the main quest for us right now?